Hey guys, Moy Style Baseball here. We're back with another episode of Moy Style Podcast. I hope you enjoy this episode. Now that's where the money is. Here we are with Joe Girardi. I've never get a chance to talk to a manager that obviously managed at the highest level. And so I was talking to him a few minutes ago, and I thought it was pretty cool points that he was bringing up. So I asked him, so if you don't mind telling our viewers, so what do you think young catchers should focus on?
Well, I think there should be a big focus on blocking baseballs and throwing runners out. You know, as we know, the bases have gotten shorter, so you have less time. A lot of it depends on the pitcher if he gives you a chance. But I think eventually we're going to get to an automated strike zone.
Yeah.
So the framing is going to become less important.
Right.
What's going to become important is the throwing, the blocking. And I think the most important thing is running a game. Learning how to run a game and learning how to call pitches and learning how to have the pitchers have the utmost trust in you. Because when a pitcher has the utmost trust in you, they don't think on the mound. They just react. And I think in baseball, if you're thinking, you're too slow. It has to be a reaction to everything you do. And they're free to, like, you put down curveball and he's like, okay, that's the best pitch. And you're going to give everything you have on that curveball. When there's doubt in your head, there's a problem, no matter what position you're at. So I think developing that relationship with the pitchers is of the utmost importance.
That's pretty good stuff. I was also asking you, so, you know, back where I'm from and also in Dominican Republic and all those countries like that, you know, we focus so much on, you know, wanting to go pro, right? But here in the U.S., you got more opportunities. So you were talking about possibly playing other sports. Like, when do you think they should stop playing other sports?
Well, I think the important thing about playing other sports is you develop different parts of your body, and you can develop footwork that helps you in your baseball. I think about the basketball footwork to guard someone. I mean, is there any better footwork for an infielder than what a basketball player does? Or if you're a defensive back in football, I mean, the movements and getting to the spot is really important. Well, you're trying to beat the ball to the spot as an infielder and make sure that you can get your shoulder square, you know, going, you know, when you're throwing to first base. So we encouraged my son. He played 3 sports until he was a junior in high school, and I thought that was important.
Okay.
Because I thought the other thing that was important is you got to give your arm a break. You got to give your rib cage a break from all the swings that you take. And when you're playing other sports, you're giving that part of your body a break. I was in the best shape of my life at 25 years old, and I would take two and a half months off from throwing, 2 months off from hitting. I would train physically with weights, but when the season was over, I didn't start throwing or hitting until January 1st because I needed to give my body a rest because it's a long, grueling season. And we think, well, it's just kids playing Little League. But Little League starts in March and ends in November 1st. Right. It's like a big league season almost, and they play a lot of doubleheaders, and their body doesn't get enough of a break. And I think that's why we see so many injuries with players when they get to the higher levels because of what their body went through when they were young. So I think it's important that you play other sports and just go have fun because learning how to compete is really important. Mm-hmm. And when you're not playing a sport, it's the off season, you're not competing. It's hard to compete against yourself in a sense. Right. You can in the weight room, but you can compete on a basketball court, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. What about, so you also touched on hitting. So what do you think kids should focus on hitting-wise?
Well, I think the important thing that kids need to focus at an early age is bat path. Bat path is so important.
What do you mean by that, if you don't mind me asking?
How you get into the zone and how long you stay in the zone. Because the longer you stay in the zone, the less important your timing is. You know, timing is always being disrupted by pitchers because they're trying to be deceptive. And if you're a little bit early, but your bat's still in the zone and going flat through the zone, you got a chance. If you're a little bit late, you got a chance. If you're a person that has a big uppercut because you're trying to get the ball in the air, think about how long that bat stays in the zone. Not very quick because you lost it in the camera. But if I do this, it stays in the zone a long time. Juan Soto's bat stays in the zone forever. Yep. And that's why he's such an effective hitter. Now you have a guy with Aaron Judge who has more of an uppercut. But he's also 6'7", 282 pounds, which most of us are never going to achieve, right? So he's kind of a freak of nature in a sense. Like he's just so strong that he's able to do it. Everyone's able to do it. So if you can mechanically be sound and understand They get the ball in the air by using your legs. Your back leg going down will get the ball in the air, and hitting line drives. Line drives eventually turn into home runs.
Right.
They do, right? And that's why Juan Soto's such a tough out.
Hey guys, if you would like to work with me remotely and learn what it takes to become an elite infielder, just send me an email right here below, or you can click the link in the description and book a call with me. You can also send me a DM, whatever you follow me, and I'll get you started on the right path. Yeah, definitely. You were talking about like the best teaching tool for kids was what? You're talking about watching videos and stuff?
Oh, I think for young kids, the best teaching tool is watching videos, because kids can emulate a lot quicker. They can process the information that you're telling them and actually do it. So I was telling you the story. I think my son was like 4 years old, and Maglia Ordonez hit a 3-run homer in a playoff game that put the Tigers in the World Series. And I came home that day, and my son, all of a sudden, he had a leg kick. Never leg kicked in his life, but he saw Maglia do it. So to me, I always tried to teach through my children watching things, because I think most of us are visual learners.
So, but when do you think we should try to help them out? Like mechanically?
Well, I think you can help them out, but I think you have to visually show them something. You can show them a Juan Soto, and then you can show them a video of themselves and see how it's different. See if they can tell you how it's different, so they can figure it out.
Right. Well, 2 more questions real quick. So what was, I guess, the biggest adjustment going from being a player to then being a manager, and basically managing the guys that you play with?
Yeah, well, the biggest difference is, as a player, you got to worry about yourself.
Yeah.
As a manager, you got to worry about 26 players, you got to worry about your coaches, you got to worry about a lot of different things, and you wear a lot of different hats. And that's the biggest thing, because now all of a sudden you're responsible for everything. But I was fortunate, all my years of managing, I had great players. I got to manage the Derek Jeters, the A-Rods, the CC Sabathias, and then the next crew was Aaron Judge, who's just a fantastic player. And then I went to Philadelphia and had the JT Realmutos and the Zach Wheelers and the Bryce Harpers. I just got to manage great players. And even my first year, I got to manage, Miguel Cabrera and Hanley Ramirez, just fantastic players, a Josh Willingham, a Josh Johnson. But you got to worry about them every day. And you got to worry about what's going on in their head and what's going on in their hearts and what's going on with their body. Whereas a player, I worry about myself.
Right. And what was the one thing they had in common? Like all those great players, like Miguel Cabrera,
I think it's
Derek
routine.
Jeter.
I think they always had a routine, and they knew what, corrected if they were going through a downtime, what they needed to do. And I think the best players have good self-awareness. A lot of us want to feel like, oh, we're the greatest all the time. Okay, you might be one day, but the next day in baseball, you can be the GOAT. So you got to have great self-awareness and understand what you have to do to get better.
Awesome. And then final question here: who was the best guy to catch? Like, what pitcher do you think you?
The easiest guy to catch, right? And usually don't talk about a reliever, but it was Mariano Rivera.
Oh yeah.
Right? I never had to block a ball in all the years that I caught him, because he had one pitch, a fastball, and he located it right where you put your glove. So he was the easiest guy to catch. But again, I was fortunate. I got to catch a lot of great pitchers along the way, but he was definitely the easiest.
Awesome. Well, thanks a lot for your time. That was great stuff, and appreciate you, really.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good luck to you guys.
Hey guys, I wanted to let you know my first base online course is finally out. So if you have players that struggle with this, or maybe this, or even this first base online training is not only going to help righties, but also lefties. I know a lot of you guys want to know about lefties, and I put this together for both. You'll be able to learn how to set up on the base, how to position yourself on the field, how to receive bad throws, and how to overcome your fears. So I highly recommend you check it out. Click the link below, or you can go to my website, moystylebaseball.com.